Today, I want to talk about the massive institutional adoption that is entering the space, the Bitcoin space, and can't be ignored. Why is Bitcoin going up? Well, maybe because of this. This is a beautiful, beautiful chart, graphic, infographic, whatever you call this. This is beautiful, right? And it really lays out the institutions that are all jumping in. And these guys are all they're all with a T, you know. They're not even with a B. B's too small for these cats. It's T with trillions. BlackRock, 9.1 leading the way. You got Vanguard. Most argue that BlackRock and Vanguard, and I think you put State Street in there. I've heard this. Between the three, they basically own the world. But then, you know, there's still others like Fidelity that's up there too. But you take those four, BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, and State Street, you put them together, you're talking about 20 trillion in assets. That's a lot of assets, okay? And every single one, except State Street, I haven't heard them, but they may be jumping in soon. BlackRock and Vanguard own some of the biggest Bitcoin mining companies already. Okay, and BlackRock, we know, kicked off this Bitcoin spot ETF enthusiasm, and they're the largest asset manager there is. And every single one, Fidelity is huge too, and we know of others like JP Morgan, even though their Jamie Dimon keeps bashing Bitcoin, yet they continue to push forward with their own crypto initiatives. And they push crypto upon their wealthy clients, right? And same thing with everyone else in this space. And you see in here, they're either jumping head in or they already offer services for their wealthy clients, right? Either custodian service or trading service or, I don't know, financial advisory, right? Just think about how much money there is. It just shows you how big this space is. And this is what, just like 15 of the largest? And if they just put a small fraction, just a small fraction of what they have or what their clients have into Bitcoin, which is only at 529 billion, imagine where Bitcoin and the whole space will be. Right, way, way, way higher than now. It's just mind-boggling to think about. Okay, how much money there is everywhere else, and just a small fraction of that. Okay, just a small little piece of the trillions that exist out there. If it comes into the space, it's going to change things. It's going to change things in a big way. Okay, here. Arca CIO says BlackRock Bitcoin ETF will bring new money into the space. Of course, that's what I've been saying. You got some of the largest fund managers trying to come up with a spot Bitcoin ETF. They all will have to buy physical Bitcoin, hold physical Bitcoin in order to offer their ETFs, right? So, where's this top? Everyone's predicting. If you look at the previous cycles, right, Bitcoin, basically it's a multiplier of 10. Bitcoin started like $1, went to $10. Then at $10 went up to 100. 100 went to 1,000. 1,000 went to 10,000, right? Does that mean this is the cycle where Bitcoin gets pushed from 10,000 to 100,000? I would say yes. And I think 100,000 is really just the beginning. So here's a good comparison. Look at what happened with gold. You know, you still have some gold bugs out there. You still have some people that hold on gold. And gold has been doing, I guess, decently well recently, right? Hovering around $2,000 something per ounce, right? But look at what happened after a spot ETF. Gold just kind of went upwards and it just never stopped until now, right? So can the same thing happen with Bitcoin? After a spot ETF, we will get an insane run upwards because of the massive amount of money coming in. Sure, it could happen. And we know, those of you guys that are watching me, you know, Bitcoin is better in so many ways. So who knows how much more will be coming in once people truly realize what Bitcoin is all about. The most decentralized network that we have today that can't be shut down by any government or entity, and the greatest store of value we have today. Chartists are looking at short-term patterns, and here's an interesting one. Bump and run reversal pattern, right? And if you look at the top and then the bottom, it looks very similar. And why do we have patterns like this? These are all like patterns meant to manipulate and drive out users. That's what it is. Just like the Wyckoff accumulation pattern. They're all what the big boys do. They basically scare the little fish retail investors away so they can keep on accumulating, right? This is one of them. So this is why I've been telling you guys to stay strong and stay focused on the future, because no matter what happens short term, and there's many manipulation patterns like this throughout Bitcoin's history. It happens every 4-year cycle, and it happens all the time, right? But just know that, yeah, you are holding on to the great asset that we have, and we'll continue forward and upwards because Bitcoin is driven by code and does not care, does not feel emotions, does not adjust based on market sentiment. It continues to move forward, and the miners don't care either. They just continue to mine, and the network keeps on getting stronger. Look at that. Look at the hash rate just keep on going upwards. All-time high, right? Just like the fundamentals of Bitcoin. Just like the addresses, just like the number of holders, they all keep on going up. So Bitcoin does not care about manipulation, does not care about global factors or macro plays. Bitcoin is Bitcoin and will continue to go upwards, quite simply because there is more demand than supply, and that will always be, and supply will keep going down more and more with each halving event. Now, as we get closer to the next one in 2024, you could see, well, we have seen periods like this before. We have seen some scary times. We have seen some accumulation times. We have seen some retests, right? Just like if you look at what we're going through now, it looks very similar to the 2014 to 2016 period. And what happened after 2016? Well, that was when Bitcoin went up to 20,000 for the first time from a low of $160. So this time around, we had a low about 15,000. Where will we head? 100,000, 150, 200, 250, 300,000 with the amount of money that those institutional clients hold? You know, who knows? Who knows where Bitcoin is going to head? But this is definitely a time not to be fearful. You still have a lot of money coming in. There's a crypto VC firm just secured $500 million for investments. That's awesome. Of course, that's awesome. Again, showing how much money is flowing into space. If you could raise $580 million right now while things are still low and kind of fuddish, imagine what these firms can raise once we're in peak of 2025, right? That's when the money will be in the billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions.